I only felt sorry for one space god in Star Trek. The original series. Star Trek. The original series had no shortage of so-called space gods. These were alien beings of immense power, often mistaken for deities or simply acting like them, usually with an arrogance that demanded confrontation from Captain Kirk and his crew. They could manipulate energy, bend time, or conjure illusions at will, but more often than not, their reign ended when the Enterprise proved that humanity didn't need gods anymore. From Apollo in Who Mourns for Adonai to Trellin in The Squire of Gothos, these beings were arrogant, manipulative, and sometimes even cruel. The pattern was clear. Kirk would challenge them, strip away the illusion of omnipotence, and move on. Yet, among all of these space gods, there was one who was different, one who deserved sympathy rather than scorn. That being was Sylvia from Catspaw, the arrogance of TOS space gods. Before getting to Sylvia, it's worth remembering why most of these beings never earned our sympathy. They almost always abused their powers. Take Trellin, for instance. With his childish games, his vanity, and his absolute disregard for human autonomy, he was essentially a spoiled godchild. He wanted Kirk and his crew to play along with his fantasies, treating them like toys. When he was finally revealed to be under the control of his even more powerful parents, it was hard to feel sorry for him. He wasn't oppressed or misunderstood. He was simply a bully who got caught. Or Apollo, who demanded worship from the Enterprise crew. He was larger than life, capable of holding the ship hostage, but what he truly craved was validation and submission. He wanted the return of ancient reverence, the kind of devotion that once kept the Olympians strong. Kirk denied him, delivering one of the series' sharpest verdicts. Humanity had outgrown gods. Apollo didn't want companionship or understanding. He wanted obedience. Other godlike beings, such as Charlie Evans, Charlie X, or the Melkotians, Spectre of the Gun, similarly leaned into cruelty, control, or judgment. They were tests for humanity, adversaries rather than victims. And then there was Sylvia. Sylvia, the lonely sorceress of Catspaw. On the surface, Sylvia fit the same mold. She and her companion Korab lured the Enterprise away from its mission, conjured gothic castles and monsters, and held the crew prisoner in a world of illusions. She appeared first as a mysterious and sinister sorceress, delighting in her own power. It seemed like another space god eager to manipulate humans for amusement. But as the story unfolded, Sylvia proved to be something else entirely. She wasn't really a goddess, or even a sorceress. She was an alien being who relied on an advanced transmuter device to create her illusions. Without it, she had no true power. What she did have, however, was a deeply human longing, the hunger for sensation, for experience, for connection. Unlike Apollo, Sylvia didn't just want worship, she wanted to feel. She admitted that she craved the richness of human sensation, the texture of touch, the thrill of emotion, even love. Her illusions weren't just weapons. They were her attempts to create a world where she could live out these yearnings. In many ways, Sylvia was less a god and more a tragic addict, intoxicated by experiences she could barely comprehend. A tragic hunger. What made Sylvia different was her vulnerability. Behind the menace, there was loneliness. Her people had no concept of physicality or desire in the way humans did. But once she discovered it, she was consumed by it. She wanted what Kirk and his crew had naturally: sensation, passion, belonging. There's something profoundly sad in watching her try to fill that void. She tried seduction. She tried intimidation. She tried creating entire fantasy realms. But none of it could satisfy her, because she didn't understand what she was actually chasing. She wanted to live like a human without knowing how to be one. And in the end, that hunger destroyed her. When her transmuter was destroyed, Sylvia and Korab reverted to their true forms. Small, frail, alien creatures. Stripped of her illusions, Sylvia wasn't a god at all. She was vulnerable, desperate, and tragically lost. Why Sylvia deserved pity. Among the many space gods of Star Trek, the original series, Sylvia was the only one whose fall didn't feel like justice. When Trellin lost, it was because he needed to be put in his place. When Apollo vanished, it was because humanity had moved on without him. But when Sylvia fell, it felt like watching someone broken by their own desires. She wasn't evil in the same way as the others. Misguided, yes. Dangerous, certainly. But at her core, she was just lonely. Her tragedy was that she wanted to join humanity not to dominate it, but to feel alive the way humans did. That's not villainy, that's heartbreak. Star Trek's compassionate lesson. Star Trek has always been about holding a